What's going on, everybody out there? So we are back for another recap of Empire, and this one was okay. It wasn't like mind blowing, but there were some parts that kind of like And me and my sister, we were watching, and it's crazy because there was a part that she was actually right about, and I was looking at her like, come on, we already see all the evidence, what are you talking about? And then it come to find out she was right. So luckily we didn't like make a bet or anything, because then I would have been out of some cash, which I don't have. So yeah, that was pretty interesting to see towards the end, but we're gonna get into that. Shout out to Demetrius Blackwell. I did see that you commented on the last video that I did. And just when we started getting back into Empire, y'all, now they're talking about it's coming back after Thanksgiving. So that's only like 1 week that we're going to miss, right? Which is next Wednesday. So yeah, unfortunately. I mean, they could have put it on Wednesday, I guess, because they know what people's going to be preparing the food and stuff that they got to cook on Thursday. So they're like, you know what, people are going to be distracted. Let's just wait until after Thanksgiving. I mean, it makes sense, especially from a marketing standpoint, but dang, I was all excited that they were back. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this. So Cookie, she's all excited with her new boo, Mr. Angelo, you know, Mr. running for mayor, and she made sure that she wasn't going to give up the Cookie right away. She's like, you know what, right now you're distracted, let's wait until after your whole, the whole election or whatever, because right now that's your focus, which makes a lot of sense. And you know, you don't have to give up the Cookie right away just because you like somebody. I mean, you can make them wait a little bit and see how they really are before you give up the goods, because you don't want to give up the goods to the whole entire world, you know what I mean? So Jamal, he's starting to go into withdrawal right now. He was sweating and he's like pacing around and shaking because he was taking the pain medicine like back to back, like boom, boom, boom. And then on top of that, he was also drinking liquor with it. So he was like giving himself like double doses. And you know, pain medication or any type of medication, almost any type of medication, is very dangerous to take with liquor. There are so many things that can happen, so many different type of like bad drug interactions that can happen when you mix those two things together. So, and people kept on warning him and telling him things that can happen. So now he decided to, like, I guess, stop cold turkey, not realizing that he actually did have a problem, which is why he's in withdrawal right now. Lucius, he had on his little old school looking his little old school do-rag. Y'all remember when the guys used to walk? I mean, I don't see them walking around like that anymore, but you remember when the guys used to walk around with the do-rags on, and the do-rags was all long and stuff? I think that was like back in the 90s or the early 2000s. And they, you know, they used to try to get their waves popping and stuff. I mean, it was acceptable back in those days, but now when you see that, you're like, oh, he's an old head. Like, who does that? Nowadays, if you are going to wear a do-rag, like normally you would go ahead and kind of like do something like this with the ends and then kind of pin it up into the part that goes around your head. But he had the super old school way. Like, I think I would only go to sleep with it looking like that, because do-rags are actually good for males or females because it helps to protect the head. But we ain't gonna get into all that. That's for my beauty channel. Be sure to check out my beauty channel, y'all. Anyway, so yeah, he was trying to get his waves popping and ready before he went ahead and got his perm on. Yeah, he was getting a perm. That wasn't no relaxing. My sister was like, oh, he getting a relax. I'm like, nah, honey, that's not a relax. Relax makes your hair straight. It looked like he's trying to get his waves popping. That's a perm. That's what people always get confused. They always talk about, oh, girl, you perming your hair. No, perm is for curls and waves. The relax is to relax your hair. Just think about relaxing. You relax, you lay down, you're straight. That's how you remember the difference between the two. So Tiana's song is like haunting everybody right now. It is like, it just plays randomly on everybody's phones and devices. So they like, what is going on? So come to find out, somebody has hacked their email servers and it's pretty much taken over their whole entire system. Like, it's crazy. So then they send a email like later on to Lucia's device talking about Lucia's lying, you got. I'm like, wow, that's crazy. So they like seriously were like in the server. And it's crazy because a lot of companies, there's a lot of hackers out there that are really trying to get into companies. I remember when I was working in my job that I used to have before I got laid off, there was a lot of email attachments that we would get just from random people talking about, here's your invoice. Knowing good and well that I never bought anything, I would never click on these things, but it was odd because it would happen like sometimes several times a day, or it would happen weekly. It was stuff like that, or maybe other things that they look really official, but I knew that I never spoke with those clients, so I knew that it was some type of hacker situation. So Nessa and Jamal, they're working on like a cute little collab. They were in the studio, and they actually look pretty nice together. They were like smiling, and they looked like they were really vibing and everything. And one of the things that Hakeem ended up saying was something that you will have with me that you'll never have with Andre is music. And, you know, of course, she loves music. She's an artist. So it makes sense if she was to kind of be with Hakeem. And Hakeem looks more like he's in her age range. And I don't know. They just look they look cute together. But Andre done grabbed her up first. I don't know. This looks like about to be a battle. Then Andre, he comes into the studio. And it looked like he was about to like really apologize and just, you know how he is sometimes. But as soon he asks Nessa to excuse them for a minute so they can have a little chat, you know, brotherly talk. After she leaves, he goes up in his face like on some thug life, like back off. He was like, you better fall back, boy. I was like, well, excuse the hell out of me. I did not see that coming. I really thought that he was about to say, you know, because he started off by saying when Nessa was there, he was like, I didn't even know that you wanted her. And she didn't even know. So I'm thinking, okay, we're going to keep on this track. He's just being, you know, very sympathetic. He's sorry about this. And he don't really care. He's moving on. But nah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. So French Montana was up there. And Lucius spoke to him. He felt like he was probably the person who hacked into the server because he was there with Birdman trying to do some business transactions with them, which kind of went south. So, but he totally denied it, and that kind of was squashed. So, then later on, the boy that Tiana was messing with, I forgot his name, pretty much Little Romeo, he pretty much exposed her on Snapchat, talking about how she's whack, how she's bad in bed, was just straight up talking smack about her and made her feel bad, and she's just like, she hates this whole hacking situation because it's exposing things that have happened with her and her life. And the breach is like really crazy. Cookie was like, you know, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. We've all been affected. And she's like, how have you been affected? So now they all go out into like the pavilion or the area where it's just like the entrance area where they can put announcements on the teleprompter or whatever the hell that's called, and just kind of look at it and see, you know, what's going down. So they see that all their emails are just being exposed right there. And their phones are being confiscated and traded by the company now because, you know, they gotta get this under control. So then all of a sudden they're like, oh, here goes Cookies. And all of a sudden right there, they were like presenting Cookies. All of a sudden right there on the screen, you see Cookie in all her glory right there. I don't think they showed her pum goodies, but they showed her breasts like right there in front of all the employees, which of course was embarrassing and awkward. She played it off real quick after the initial shock, but Lucius handled the situation because, you know, he's there for his family when he's not hurting them. So what he did, he took the chair and he dead up broke the thing. Like, you know, they got money, they could buy that back. Me, I'd be like, wait, hold on. I'll just try to stand in front of it, but it was kind of high. So, you know, maybe I'll try to put something in front of it or something, but I wasn't going to break my TV now. But, you know, he did what he felt was the right thing to do. And plus, like I said, he know he could replace it real quick. So following all of that foolishness, that was going on, hacking situation. Becky and Xavier were having a conversation. He came crawling back to her. And I'm like, girl, you can't trust him because he done burned you once. Like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, right? I think that's how the saying goes. Something similar to that. And I'm like, girl, don't trust him. She was like, he said that with the song being leaked out, all the bloggers, they're trashing the song, that he was the one that pretty much stood behind and made Cookie go ahead and release that song. Now, all of a sudden, he's coming back to her like, oh, what can you do to help me? So she comes up with a plan, and she was like, but you have to make sure that when Starlight comes out and it's a hit, that you make sure that you let them know that I was the one that put this idea out there. I'm like, girl, with these people, you have to have contracts. You can't just be like, word is bond type of thing. We're not in the hood. You got to make sure that you are making sure that you get everything situated and in paper so that you can sue. You know what I mean? But she ain't do none of that. And we're going to talk about what happened next, which was that when they eventually got everything settled and they were having like this big like not award ceremony, but they were having like, like we did it type of meeting. We cracked the case, we solved the puzzle. He comes, Cookie congratulates him, talking about our head of A&R was the one that helped Tiana to get back into good graces and come out with the Starlight song. And homegirl was just looking, Becky was looking like, are you serious right now? She was about to go whoop some behind, but luckily Thirsty was there. So I know Thirsty was like, yo, just rock with me. So I know Thirsty's about to come up with something real good real soon. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how they expose or embarrass this dude, because I don't like people like that. Like, you ain't gonna take credit for my work for things that I've done when you wanted something else. I tried to put this out there. Like, I can't hold my tongue when either somebody tries to blame me for something I didn't do, or somebody tries to take credit for something that I did do. Any of those two things, I will expose you, because it just is going to eat at me. It's going to keep on bothering me until I eventually say something. And I've been like that in the workplace, in school, everything. That's why I like my solo act. I like doing things by myself. So Jamal, he was back in the studio working on a new song with his boy, and things just started going array. Like, this was part of that whole hacking situation where their tracks just got like totally eliminated. It was like just gone. It was like somebody came, like the Pac-Man came and was like and just ate up everything. It was just ridiculous. So I guess that kind of made him feel some type of way or whatever. But he ended up going to bed with this guy after they come up with a better song when they were working on it again. Actually, it was Jamal that kind of played the piano, came up with things, and he was excited. So him and homeboy, they went to bed, and I guess he reverted back to old ways. He probably popped a pill real quick, took some liquor, and just went into the bed. And he wouldn't wake up. And I think that's the same type of thing that tends to happen with people that take ecstasy, because I've seen on shows before where they had to douse them in cold water because their body was starting to overheat. So his boy ended up calling somebody, I guess somebody who's dealt with these types of situations and knows what to do when people OD, and he just doused him in some cold water and brought him back to life, because he literally was most likely overheating. I guess that's what happened, because that's the only way I would see that just some water would like wake him up like that. Some cold water. So yeah, they ended up finding this little key thing that the hackers use in order to get into the computer system. So Andre and Lucius, they head out to, and it was found in Tiana's, well, they assumed that Tiana's boyfriend was the only one that had this whole, that was capable of doing this, because he did hack into her phone before, and he has this vendetta against them. So they're like, okay, it's most likely him. So what they did, they went to his house, broke in, had the little bodyguard, and confronted him. He denied it. He said, I would have done something like that, but I didn't do it. But yeah, everything was right there on his computer screen. It was like set up, like, dude, you was being sloppy. We have the proof. We know it was you, and that's it. But he denied it, and they ended up bringing Shine and his crew to handle business because, you know, Shine's a street dude, so he likes to do that type of stuff. He likes to get his hands dirty, and he might not have even had to get his hands dirty because he had his crew with him. So that pretty much took care of that situation, and the whole hacking situation came to a rest. And that's when they ended up having that whole little the meeting and just kind of like, yeah, we did it, guys, congratulations for staying strong type of meeting, and just, you know, praising certain people that did their job correctly. Nessa and Hakeem performed their song, and they really looked cute together. Like, I was like, okay, I see y'all. And Andre looked like he was getting kind of jealous. Like, he was sitting down in his seat kind of looking like, you know, having one of those faces on like, alright, you good now, but that's my girl at the end of the day type of thing. Jamal, well, that was pretty much the last thing that happened with Jamal, was with the whole, like, they put the shower on him. Finally, at the end of everything, Andre meets up with French Montana. First, he brings Nessa into this, like, warehouse. And I'm like, where you going? This don't look like no romantic place. And this is where my sister was right. Because he meets up with her, tells her, just wait here. Let me show you how much I trust you. And then he goes down, meets up with French Montana, gives French Montana a whole ton load of money, like a big bundle of money in a duffel bag, handed it over to him, and was like, he said some words like, oh, you know, this is for whatever. Basically, what I gathered from that was that he actually did go ahead and hack the system, and they blamed it on Tiana's boyfriend because he was an easy target. And it was easy to go ahead and just pinpoint it on him, set up everything. And that's why he gave French Montana all the money that he gave him. And just kind of make things a little sloppy so it would be easy to say, okay, he probably did this, but he didn't do things right. So that's why it is the way it is. And, yeah, so that's crazy. And he had like this old school 60s type of outfit on, like the old school pimp type of outfits on. And he was talking funny, like talking about he's a gangster. And he was just like, it's me and you, we gonna be at the top, to Nessa. And I'm like, is he trying to, like, I feel like maybe one of his, doesn't he have multiple personality syndrome as well as bipolar disorder? If he has multiple personality syndrome or disorder, I feel like it's probably one of those people that are coming out right now, because he hasn't really been taking his medicine. Remember, Rhonda was the one that used to control all that and help him to know when he needed more, when he needed less, and to kind of adjust it. But now he's pretty much doing it on his own. So I don't know. I think it might be one of his personalities that are coming out, that maybe the gangster one that's like, ain't nobody gonna F with me and I'm gonna make it to the top one way or another type of thing. And he's trying to be that bad boy that he knows that Nessa would want and that she's used to. Because remember, her cousin, a bad boy. Hakeem, pretty much bad boy, thug life, goes off the freaking and does whatever he wants to do type of guy. So maybe Andre's like, you know what, I need to switch up, not be so professional in order to be able to keep her. And plus, this is the first woman that he's had sex with since his wife passed away. So of course he's going to have this special connection to her. Plus, in his mind, his wife was there having sex with them. So, crazy, y'all. This was a crazy one. Yeah, so let me know what you guys think down below. And, you know, shout outs for the next one in 2 weeks. So, I hope that you guys have an amazing Thanksgiving. Hopefully, we'll still be able to do Real Housewives of Atlanta on Sunday. And then we'll be back on Monday for Love and Hip Hop New York. We'll skip Wednesday and then we'll be back on Sunday again. So it seems like our schedule is going to be pretty consistent, only missing the next Empire for next week. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to stay fabulous, live free, and soar limitless. I'll see you in the next one. Later.